So Trump and MAGA have begun to lose normie America, and there's many signs that they're losing normie America because, yes, you still have the most dead-eyed psychopaths of them all currently doing the Darvo strategy and going on the offense and trying to smear the victims. That's what Kristi Noem is engaged in. That's what Greg Bovine Boy is engaged in. That's what J.D. Vance is engaged in. But even Trump himself noticed how bad these murders looked. And so he's going, all right, Bovine Boy, you can take a step back. I'm going to send Tom Homan in there. I'm going to replace 100% Hitler with 99% Hitler because we got a little bit too much Hitler. The percentage of Hitler is a little too high, right? And so now you're seeing basically like a full-on break with anybody who has any semblance of independent thought left is abandoning MAGA at a record clip, okay? And so there's signs of that all over the place. So here you have MoistCr1TiKal, Charlie, and he is, I like how Hassan referred to him. He called him Normie Jesus. I think that's a good description. I hesitate to give this next comparison because it's totally unfair to Charlie. So Charlie, I apologize, but he's like the good version of Asmongold. I know that's unfair because Asmongold is fucking disgusting. It doesn't shower and has cockroaches crawling all over him and he's a mess. Whereas Charlie showers and is a lovely guy and it's totally unfair. But I think the reason I say that is because just the long hair, the fact that they're very popular, right? But he's like the good version of Asmongold and his politics are way better. Now, this guy fancies himself, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but the vibe I get from his content is like, he's just like, an apolitical, common sense kind of guy. Right? Not that interested in politics, but every now and then he'll talk about politics. And when he does, it's, it's a quick opinion in and out. And he's not super ideological, I guess is the point. Well, guess what? You've now made it so bad, MAGA, that here you have MoistCr1TiKal basically sounding like me or like Hassan Piker. That's where we're at. That's how much they screwed the pooch and shit the bed and jumped the shark. So here he is talking about these ICE murderers, and he makes a phenomenal point. Watch this.
This point that they're trying to beat into the empty minds of a lot of people that are trying so hard to justify it is that the only people being arrested and targeted by ICE are rapists and pedophile illegal aliens, which is just not the case. There definitely have been rapists and pedophiles that have been snatched up in all of this.
Actually, I'm not to be too pedantic, but that's actually not true. All the people who are immigrants and rapists or pedophiles, they just get arrested and sent to prison. Like, that's what happens. It's not like if somebody's a rapist or a pedophile, you arrest them, but then you find out, oh, wait, they're an undocumented immigrant, so now I must release them. No, that's not how it works. So all these people, it's total fucking bullshit. It always has been when they said, like, oh, we're only going after violent criminal undocumented immigrants. No, you're not. If you were going after violent criminal undocumented immigrants, you'd be done in like a week. Because guess what? That group is the least likely to even be criminal. Both documented immigrants and undocumented immigrants commit crime at lower rates than native-born Americans. And again, the ones that do commit crimes are locked up, like there's already justice. So really, they're just going after like innocent people. The only way you can do mass deportations is to go after all sorts of innocent people. Okay, let's continue.
And those rapists and pedophiles that have been caught and taken away, that's good. They shouldn't be out there breathing the free air. Great. But that's not all that's happening here. You could also right now march into the White House and arrest everyone in the White House and you would get a ton of rapists and pedophiles. Why isn't that happening? If the goal is getting rapists and pedophiles off of American soil, thrown in the slammer, taking them away from society, why is it only just walking through the fucking streets of Minnesota trying to do it? You would get significantly more rapists and pedophiles if you took ICE and brought them to the White House. An administration is actively covering up a massive child sex trafficking operation and letting tons of evil people get away with this, tons of clients. So if the goal is to get this kind of evil out of this country, why would you not start with what is provably a spot that has so many of them? Also, that belief of like a secret pedophile ring was a very popular one among Trump voters for the longest time, and now that it has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt to be real, legitimate reality, they are now just ignoring it. They have been proven correct that there was a huge pedophile ring of these powerful politicians, but because some of their favorite politicians are potentially wrapped up in it, they just want to drop it and forget about it.
So, by the way, go watch his whole video on it because the whole thing is phenomenal. But you could tell he's genuinely and sincerely fucked up over these people. Like, he cannot wrap his mind around these people being so disgusting and so dishonest and having no principles whatsoever and being flat out sadistic in the sense that they're defending these murderers very clearly murdering live on camera, right? And it's interesting watching a normie react in real time to the depravity and the sadism of the MAGA right. Because it's always been there to one extent or another. They're just really letting their freak flag fly these days, right? They got a little high on their own supply. You know, they feel like they're invincible. Stephen Miller's out there goose-stepping and Zig Heiling all over the place. And so I think on some level, a lot of people in MAGA started to believe that this country at its core is like a white nationalist country, and they like the performative cruelty. But it's just not true. It's only the, 30 to 35%, the MAGA diehards that are in the death cult. They're the only ones that love the sadism for the sake of sadism. And that's, by the way, that number's way too fucking high. Let's be clear. But it ain't fucking 53% or 57% of the country that's like, yeah, keep shooting innocent women in the face. Like, nobody fucking wants that. No reasonable person wants that. And his comparison is great. There was that video of that ICE official. I hate calling them that. They're ICE criminals. This ICE criminal who was chastising the protesters and going, we're trying to get a pedophile and you guys are blocking us. Think about who you're defending. There was a video of that guy, and that went kind of viral on the right because they were like, look, here's the upstanding law enforcement official, and see, they're being blocked. Well, come to find out, that guy was fucking lying. The so-called pedophile that he said he was tracking was already in prison. That's not true. They're lying, and then they're assaulting and going after innocent people. That's what it is. That's the reality. And we have countless stories to that effect. And the real pedophiles, it's the Epstein class. It's the billionaires. It's the fucking, it's the elites. It is Donald Trump. I mean, fuck. It's so crazy to me that we got, 23,000 Epstein emails came out. And the right just fucking was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't seen a single email. They just ran and hid and pretended like it wasn't real. Even when we got that first drop, about the 1% of the Epstein files that we did get, which, by the way, they're illegally hiding 99% that still remains. But they just like ran and hid and had nothing to say about any of it. Why? Because what did we learn? We learned that Epstein was Trump's best friend for a decade, and that Trump went on his plane at least 8 times. And he also went to the island. That was verified. That was something we didn't know until recently because he lied about it. We also learned about the limo driver in Dallas that says he overheard Trump talking on the phone to a guy named Jeff about, quote, abusing girls. There was also the fact that Epstein allegedly had a drawer that was just totally dedicated to Trump pictures. And the FBI posted that, and then they thought like, oh shit, we fucked up. And then they pulled it down after everybody realized that Epstein had a drawer full of Trump pictures. So they posted it and then pulled it down when people realized it. Okay? We learned that Mar-a-Lago was subpoenaed in the Ghislaine Maxwell investigation because that was the hub of the human trafficking. That was the hub of the underage human trafficking. Bannon had a picture of Trump and Ghislaine on a plane in 2021. Never mind all the FBI intake forms where there's allegations of Trump raping a girl named Dusty and in 2000 from Oklahoma, and she was found with her head blown off, okay? This is the sort of shit that we learned. This is the sort of shit that we learned. We learned horrifying things. We learned Epstein literally had like at least a dozen passports of girls that he had from different countries. It was an actual human trafficking ring, okay? And what do you think Trump's teenage modeling agency was? Is that all? Oh, it was just a teenage model. Yeah, very normal for a fucking 40-something, 50-something-year-old man to be involved in teenage modeling agencies. And who is he friends with? Jean-Luc Brunel, notorious fredophile running in those circles. John Casablancas, notorious fredophile. By the way, which one was it? I think it was Jean-Luc Brunel and Epstein both wound up dead in prison. Weird. It's almost like they have dirt on the most powerful people in the world, the billionaire class, the pedos, and they got away with it. And here they have the nerve to say to you, as we're watching ICE criminals shoot innocent people in the face and fucking murder them on a regular basis now, they have the nerve to look at you and go, oh, we're just trying to stop pedophiles. No, bitch, if you were, you would march into the White House. You would arrest Trump. You would arrest the billionaires. That's what you'd be doing, but you don't actually give a fuck about any of that, do you? You don't. No, you're criminals. You are the Gestapo. You act like the Gestapo. And now you've reached the point where you have Charlie sounding like me or sounding like Hassan, sounding like a flaming lefty, because it turns out when you tell the truth, you wind up sounding like a lefty. If you just tell the truth, you sound like a fucking socialist. Okay? That's where we're at now in this country. So, shout out to MoistCr1TiKal. Look, he's just an honest guy, right? He's just reacting like an honest guy, and I appreciate that. And it's not his commentary. This is another point I heard Hassan make. He said, look, his commentary is going to be more important than Hassan's commentary or my commentary. Because, like, I'm largely preaching to the choir here. You guys, you're here to watch me. Chances are you're already a liberal or a leftist. You are a left of center and you're very political, right? And Hassan, same thing. Got left-wing audience. Well, for Charlie, I'm sure he's got an ideologically diverse audience, right? And to have him say this and come out as aggressively as he did, there is a shame effect where if you fancied yourself MAGA, now it's not cool. You're not cool anymore. It's actually like embarrassing and at this point, fucking criminal. It's fucking criminal. What, you want to fucking wear it as a badge of honor that you're part of a terrorist, fascist death cult? A Kool-Aid drinking, psychopathic, dead-eyed death cult? No, I mean, historically, this is going to be viewed as just atrocious. Atrocious, what's happening to this country. Fascism's taking over. They're waging a war on the Constitution. They're warmongering all over the world. He's invading U.S. cities with the U.S. military. This is a soft civil war that he's already started. History is not going to view these people kindly. And it turns out everybody's souring on them at a record pace, and I've never seen such a dramatic collapse in just his first year. I don't know how we're going to make it through 3 more years, bro. I really don't. But then again, maybe his health will give out. We'll have to see. But again, shout out to Charlie. Really love the commentary here. And I think he's going to wind up changing a lot of minds. And it's just a huge channel. So it has a great impact. And the more people like this come out aggressively and strongly on this stuff, the more, like, it's over. It's inevitable now. It is over for them. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.